Hi and welcome to the channel and welcome to a new vlog. Not been on for a little while. I've been pretty busy. Also got a cough, cold, and also I've got my brother is quite poorly in hospital. So plus as well, I've been sort of behind on magazine stuff, and also I'm 6 months now behind near enough on finishing one of my books. So as you can see, I'm a bit in the doldrums really. What am I going to do? Well, what I can do is really plod on with it and try and get these things rectified. But the thing was, I realised a fortnight ago since I actually was on, I actually put a video on. Now, again, I'm going to say this. A big thank you for all the new subscribers that are coming on. I don't know where they're coming from, but they're coming on, which is very, very good. And I'm loving all the comments too. Lots of things have been said about Eldis. A lot of people saying how bad it is and what a shame it is. Others are going, well, I'm not surprised, and all this, that, and the other. You're always going to get that sort of thing. But I still think it's a big major shame. And what can you say? Because motorhome production has only got another week or two to run, and that is finished. That is no more leisure vehicle manufacturing in concept after 62 years. Tragic is the word, because you know that company could have been turned around if it had been done right, and I think there was a lot of half-hearted attempts to get it up and running proper with the quality. And I thought the Eldis, the last year or two, the quality was definitely better, like I said before. So where does it leave you now if you've got an Eldis caravan, you want to sell it? Well, again, people come and say, oh, it'll be worthless. Well, it won't be worthless at all. Excuse me. When Luna finished manufacturing, for a little while it did sort of just tame prices off, but prices rallied back again. And that will be the same with Eldis. If you've got a good Eldis van, then, you know, a dealer will take it on. If it's not a good one, well, some dealers may be a bit hesitant and might not give you a decent, good price either. So, on the whole, I was talking to an Eldis dealer who not had any 2026 stock in, and he said, no, we sell Eldis, we'll sell used Eldis. If it's good used Eldis, he says, we'll sell it, and he says, it's not affecting the price. So, that's that. Now, I saw Atlantic Caravans, Darren, I didn't watch his video, I just saw his headline about the manufacturers, you know, stopping making Taurus. And I think it's very easy to jump to that conclusion. I'm sure they'll cut back on manufacturing, like they have done in years gone by. Well, this takes me back in history. Again, I'm bringing history into this. So I've sort of seen a turnaround when the caravan and the motorhome were in competition with each other in the early 1920s. And for a while, the motorhome looked like it was overtaking the carpool caravan at the time. And the 1920s, a motorhome could be seen pretty commonly. Not like today, but, you know, more so maybe than a car and a caravan. But by the early 30s, things had started to change. Caravans were getting more stylish, slightly better equipped, but also they were getting easy to tow, and also they represented very good value for money. And the problem with the motorhome was that there wasn't like we have today, where we've got the Fiat Ducato, the Peugeot, the Ford, you know, those chassis cabs. In those days, it was more of a mixed batch, and really, chassis cabs that really weren't ideal for doing motorhomes on. So basically the motorhome sort of died a death by the late 30s and wasn't really to appear again really until the late 50s. Now, and it took it a little while to get going again. Now the campervan had come around about 1952, and again that was a slow progression, and some people quite hostile to people that had a campervan. You know, some caravan sites won't let them on. Simple as that. But what we've got to realise is that popularity started to grow into the 70s, the motorhome, and then we got the oil crisis. Of course, that sort of slowed everything down. Motorhomes for a while remained fairly stagnant. It wasn't until really the mid-80s that motorhome started to be seen as a good way of spending your leisure time. And we saw Swift and Eldis and Compass produce motorhomes in that era. So, consequently, the motorhome has made a slow comeback now to where it's very popular. How long that can keep going, I don't know. As I said to you before, if there is a slowdown, there's a lot of dealers have stock tied up in very valuable stock, and heavy discounting would mean that they would lose a lot of money, and it would force the closure of the dealership. And while we're still on about dealers, there was a quick question I asked this Eldis dealer friend of mine. I said, what's going to happen to the Eldis dealers, because he was selling the brand. He said, what will happen? He says, I think a lot of them will go onto used caravans, simple as that, or maybe just shut shop. So we'll keep an eye on that. Now, I think this guy called Phil, who's got a Gobur caravan. Now, a lot of you may know what a Gobur was, but Gobur are a folding caravan, and they were quite clever. And they were lightweight. They folded flat for towing, and they've been around since the about 1973, 74, and they were made in Norfolk. And I remember in the sort of 80s, there was quite a big interest in folding caravans. There was one or two imported makes that came in, even one from America called a Hilo, which was quite an unusual looking thing. But folding campers, folding caravans and trailer tents were very popular. And those seemed to fizzle out more in the 90s, 2000s. We lost Pennine, and Gobur, sadly, we lost them as a manufacturer, although the factory was turned over to doing spares and sales and what have you. But I hear at the end of this month, at the end of May, that also is being closed down. So that's another UK brand gone. Okay, very, very niche, but sad all the same. Now, I might do a little video on Gobur, because I did quite a few reviews on their folders, and I actually went down to the factory, and the two guys that ran it, I can't remember the names at the moment, but they were absolutely fabulous blokes. They were really good, very funny, but were very keen always to show people at shows how these folded down, etc. And Gobur used to always have a stand at the NEC in February. They were probably classed as being a bit old-fashioned because they did start to look a little bit dated. They didn't really move on in interior styling, but they had a very strong core of customers who liked them because they could stow them away in a small garage at home, out of the way. So, apparently, as I say, Gobur, they stopped manufacturing a few years ago now. I went to see them in I think it was 2009 or 2010, I can't remember the top of my head, and I was quite sort of, it was a very small factory. They had one of the very early ones there as a little showpiece. But I was quite amazed at the amount of folders they were actually selling. You know, they were selling them quite well then. But as I say, things have changed. So sadly, that's gone. Now, I have mentioned Dandy trailer tents. Now, 12 months ago, I told them, I'm going to come and see you. Where I do go, I never got to see them. So that is on my hit list for this year. Because Dandy had a very niche market. And again, a very loyal following. And their used stuff goes quite... It doesn't go for peanuts. It doesn't go for massive money, but it's steady, firm money. And the company that used to manufacture them still do spares and repairs and sales. So I'm going to go and see them, hopefully this year, definitely put them on the list to go and see what's what. Now, also we've got quite a lot of classic caravan videos to come on. Now, these are videos that have been done. They just need editing, which won't take too long. So I want to get those put on. There's a Sprite Alpine with a drop-down bed, 1964. So we have a quick look at that. There's also some ones that just sort of turned up out the blue. So I've done some videos on those as well. And again, I get some of the things wrong. Don't ask me why. The old mind went blank. Probably get a bit excited because you don't see these caravans around like you used to do. I kept calling this Cheltenham a Springbok, a 16-footer when it was Oribi. I can't remember the name. Oribi, I think they call it Oribi, which is another. It's like an antelope named after an antelope, I think, in South Africa, because they named a lot of the caravans like Naylor and say Springbok and Fawn, all after deer family. So I've got a video on that. There's a video on a caravan called a Mince Caravan that's to come up. That was just out of the blue. I won't spoil that, but there wasn't a lot left inside that caravan, but it was still being used for another purpose, shall we say, not for what it was originally intended. But anyway, so we've got those. There's a lot of those too, and also another one which I told you about in the last video, I think, last vlog, is a 1990s classic caravan. I'll call it classic now. Very few were built, and I was contacted by the owner and I've been to see it. I went to see it last week. Lovely day in a nice setting, and the van was absolutely, it was really, really stunning inside, let's put it that way. And exterior wise, it looked really, really, really good. And sometimes when I go to see caravans, you go with high expectations and it's not quite what you thought. But this one really was far better than what I thought it was going to be honest with you. So I'm going to tell you about that one. And then in July, I've got some more classics coming up. Probably about 4 or 5. So in the meantime, we'll have some new stuff and we'll get some used in. But the classics, I'm trying to get on there. And I'm still going to do the whole industry as well. So that video's got to come on before the end of this year, that's for sure. So I'll leave you on that one. And again, thank you for everybody that's been subscribing, everybody that's commenting. You've really, I've been really amazed. I think we've had 20 odd new subscribers over the last week or two, which is really good for me. So yeah, keep it on, keep it going, share the videos if you like them, tell me what you like, etc. The usual score. So like and subscribe, we'll do all that stuff. I won't put the pingy bit up because when I watch videos it annoys me on YouTube when it comes up subscribe and all that business. I'll just say it. If you want to subscribe, you subscribe. If you don't, you don't. It's fair enough, but it'd be good if you did. On that note, I'm going to see you and speak to you soon, and keep an eye out for the new classic videos coming up soon. See you on the next one. Bye for now.